I'm Michael. I'm one of the founders of this company called Rilla, and I'm the chief AI officer. Real quick, what Rilla does is we basically do speech analytics for outside sales. What that means is like I don't know if you guys have ever seen someone knocking on your door, like someone canvassing people coming in and selling baths, windows, doors, anything that goes in your house, you name it. There are sales reps that sell it all. And essentially, what our tool does is analyze their conversations and help them sell more. So their company makes money, they make more money, and the end user for them actually has a better experience overall because it ensures a lot of quality and the like overall customer experience. I ended up hating it. So I got into like I wasn't taught any programming, and I took one intro to programming class in college. Um, and that's about it. And so I really didn't have any programming experience whatsoever. I also never took an AI ML class in college as well. And I was kind of just doing college, and I was actually doing really bad. I was on the verge of being expelled. I had like a 2.5 GPA at the end of my sophomore year. Um, and I realized it's because I hated electrical engineering. And so I got into AI. It's a really stupid story. I was watching this show called Westworld. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. And I was like, I want to do that for a living. I want to build one of those things. So I started like getting in. I just started learning about AI. First, I learned Python. On my own, I would go on YouTube videos and stuff and just watch like tutorials literally every night when I got home from school. And then I would eventually, when I started getting somewhat familiar with Python, I started working on like side projects that involved AI back then. This was like 8 years ago, back in 2016. So AI is not what it is now. It was like it was still pretty powerful, but we didn't have LLMs or anything like that. And I just started working on side projects involving AI and music. And I just used that as a way to kind of grow and learn. Um, and yeah, I graduated college, got a job at the Department of Defense, and then I was doing AI for them for a while, and then I moved to New York and started this company with my co-founders.
Very cool. Michael, you want to talk about one of your hackathon experiences?
Yes. So the big hackathon experience I've had, this was like my senior year of college. I did this music recommendation system based on the sound of music, not the way it was they did it back then was with this system called collaborative filtering, which is like they look for overlap between people's preferences in what they like. They did not take into account at all like the actual content of the music. And so I built this system that actually basically extracted features from music. So it recommended people music based on the sound of music. And what that did basically was solve the cold start problem when you're like a new artist and no one's ever gonna get your music recommended to them because you're a nobody, right? Um, and so I did that as my kind of senior project for school. And then I ended up my school had like an exhibition where you would win prizes and stuff, and like they had industry judges come and vote and all that. And I ended up winning all the prizes they had that year. And one of the industry judges told me to submit my project to like this like online hackathon that had like a final presentation. So it wasn't like a traditional hackathon. Um, so I kind of just submitted it to that, and the only thing I had to do was it was like a crypto hackathon, so I had to add some crypto to it, which was like basically you could tip an artist with crypto. And then so I ended up being a finalist, and then they just told me to show up to like this school in Miami, which is where I went to school. So I showed up to the school, and when I got there, I realized that it was a bunch of startups that literally some of them had raised like Series A, Series B, like $10 million plus, and I was just some idiot, right? Some kid that didn't know anything. They all had these fancy presentations and whatnot. I didn't have anything. So like 30 minutes before I went up to give a speech, I like made a quick little video and a presentation. Um, and then I go up and I look at the judges, and one of them is Jack Selby. He's one of the founders of PayPal, and the other one is Pitbull, who's like this famous music artist. I gave my speech. They roasted me. But whatever, it is what it is. It was a cool experience. And then at the end of the event, they announced the winners, and then we found out that my group had won the whole hackathon, which was really cool. And they ended up putting me in touch with one of the prizes was like flying to this conference held by Steve Wozniak. I don't know how that happened. So we got flown to this conference. I met with Steve Wozniak. I showed him my project. Then he put me in touch with the heads of Apple Music and Tim Cook, who was like the CEO of Apple, and I was on a Zoom call with them. And then this guy Jack Selby was a founder, offered me $2 million to move to California and start a company based on the work I had done. And I was very scared because I didn't know what was going on. It was a lot of things at the same time. So that is I decided not to pursue that, and I went to go work my job. But then I ended up starting a startup anyways, literally like 3 months later after that. So
Michael, this is an incredible story. Again, this is just you in college. Like this is early days. Back then, you never thought about you said Series A startups that raise like $10 million. Like that's you right now. You're a Series A startup founder. You raise over $10 million. Um,
mhm.
how do you think that first journey went, right? Like, how do you how did you get into Rilla? And then like how did you actually build an AI product? Because you guys built all your thing before Whisper, before ChatGPT, right? Like you build that thing yourself and you taught yourself everything. So how did the Rilla conversation happen? And then how did you teach yourself AI to build a product that's used by hundreds if not thousands of people today?
Um, yeah. So like, how did Rilla get started? I mean, like three of the founders, like we went to high school together, so we've known each. One of them, I've known him since I was like 5 years old. So can we kind of have a lot of common ground there. Um, and my co-founder, he had the idea because he had a previous startup. And he called me up and he's like, "Hey man, I have this idea." And then at the end, it was like an 8 hour conversation until like 4 a.m. And then I was just at the end, I'm like, "We're gonna be billionaires." But yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then how I got into AI and like essentially what you said earlier, man. It's like I have no formal training. I just grinded it. Like someone would grind leak code, for example. I grinded papers. I implemented a bunch of papers. I failed many times. When we first started Rilla, and I had to solve like the biggest problem, which was basically when you have like an audio recording, you have to determine how many people are speaking and when they're speaking. That problem took me 2 years. And I was like, 22 when we started this company. Like I didn't know anything. And I kind of just had to. And I tried all like the open source stuff. I tried APIs. None of it was good. So I had to just figure it out. If not, we would go out of business. So I had that fire under my ass to just grind and figure it out.
Michael, we love you, man. Like, Faizan looks up to you. I look up to you a lot. The problem that Michael was trying to solve is also known as speaker diarization. Is that correct, Michael?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And we at Head Start are trying to implement speaker diarizations in-house ourselves. And so I had just casually brought it up to Michael, like, Michael, you got any ideas on VAD or speaker diarization? VAD is also known as voice activity detection. And Michael was like, bruh, I think I'm one of the experts in speaker diarization in the whole wide nation. And I was like, there's no way. And then I was like, yeah, there is a way. It's because you grinded it out and you figured it out. So it's really cool. Michael, now you're hiring. You're on the other side. Your team has grown from 5 to now, I believe, 30 or a little above 30, correct? You've been hiring very fast. And you or Chris, your co-founders, are interviewing literally tens of people every week, right? What do you look for now as an interviewer? What stands out to you? You've interviewed all sorts of people from Ivy League, people from Masters, people who have 10 years of work experience, but there's a certain person that you look for. What does that person look like?
For my team, I mean, I have my requirements, obviously. And but if you put those aside, what I look for, once you have that, because like most people have that, right? If they're applying for the role, it's someone who's like insanely creative. I value creativity so much, like out of the box thinking, because like the stuff that we build has never been done before. So there's like nothing to reference. You have to literally like come up with it yourself. So I value that a lot. and someone who's like willing to move insanely fast, so you're not scared of getting things wrong. I get things wrong every day, on a daily basis. I think most people at our company make mistakes every single day. That's actually like it's celebrated at Rilla to make mistakes. So yeah, those are like the um biggest things that I care about outside of the requirements. It's like you're super creative and you're willing to move really fast and make mistakes while doing it.
That is very cool. Michael, you are hiring right now, right? And so if people want to apply or if they think they have that background, would they go to rela.com/jobs or like jobs careers at Rela, correct?
So I'm actually hiring. I think this audience would be really good. If you're in New York City, and you have a background in Python and like data analysis, I am hiring interns. So
You
just reach out to me on LinkedIn. Yeah,
actually are. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I never thought you would hire interns. I thought you only hire senior software engineers.
I'm
Okay.
no, I'm hiring interns for this new stuff. Yeah.
All right. I could use some interns. I mean, we are hiring as well. So that's cool. What is Michael's LinkedIn link? I think you can just his LinkedIn link is in the Luma extension. So like luma.com/, thing. Michael, I have sent you a number that
Yes.
I'd like you to quickly just make a phone call. But just before that, you click on that number. Michael, let's say I feel like I don't understand anything. I have a thick head. I gotta start from scratch every time. I really want to learn AI like AI. How do I
Mhm.
start it?
I mean, that's what I had to do. Like I said, it depends where you're starting. If you're me, you started from from nothing because I didn't even know how to code. Um, yeah, like I watch YouTube. Medium articles are insanely helpful when you're starting out. Like I actually can't emphasize. That's probably the number one resource I'd say if you're like looking to learn AI as a beginner. Medium articles like does like 90% of the work for you. Um, I would not focus on implementing like low level things. Yeah, there's tools and frameworks there for you. I would just focus on doing cool projects. And you'll learn a lot.
And trust me, Michael has a really good soft spot for projects. So if you're applying to Rilla Voice, the first thing he's gonna ask you is like, "What is this project? What did you do?" He's gonna rip it apart, and he wants to see creativity and amazement, right? Like I know that's you really care about those things. So what Michael is gonna showcase right now is a new technology we've built at Headstarter. We call it your accountability coach. So at Headstarter, we are building the best place for you to get really, really good at data structures, algorithms, get feedback on your code and your communication, right? We're gonna be the best place for you to do that. But guess what? We don't want to just give you the tool. We want to hold you accountable. So you're actually making progress every week. So Michael, you have a phone number in front of you.
Yes.
Can you call that phone number and show us what your conversation looks like?
Yeah, you want me to put on speaker?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
All right.
Wait, actually, Michael, can you just end that call real quick? I wanna just tell people what they're gonna expect. So what Michael's about to do is what we call a weekly accountability call. We're gonna have a call with either me or one of our coaches, and it's an AI that's gonna ask you really three questions. One is what is happening outside of Headstarter. So how many places have you applied to? How many interviews have you gotten? It's gonna hold you accountable on that every week. And where are you struggling? Like you have classes, do you have like job apps that you're not hearing back from? What's going on? What's your headspace outside of Headstarter? Next, what was your goal for Headstarter last week? So at Headstarter, we have a concept called career capital, which is a score from 0 to 480. And the goal for us is for you to build 3 career capital every week and eventually elevate you and push you and give you pressure so you can do 7 to 10 career capital every week. So we're going to ask you how many career capital did you do last week? And if you didn't do your target, let's say if it was 3, we're going to hold you accountable. Why didn't you do it? Exactly why? Why are you slacking off? Why is this not a priority? How can we make this a priority? And then we're going to tell you what is your goal for this upcoming week. Can you commit to it? Boom, call ends. So, Michael, just go for it, and he'll show you what that's like.
Hey, it's Susan. Before beginning, I just wanted to let you know the Head Starter team will be reviewing this call. I'm excited to be speaking with you today. How are you doing?
Doing good on yourself, Susan? Doing good on yourself, Susan?
No worries at all. So just to clarify, this call is focused on your job application strategies. and practicing your behavioral interview questions. I want to hold you accountable on your learning and real life outcomes. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah.
So first things first, have you been applying to jobs or internships recently?
You want me to say yes? Yeah.
How many jobs have you applied to? Any online assessments or interviews?
I applied to 50 and I didn't get any interviews.
Wow, 50 is a lot. I'm impressed by your proactive approach. Sorry to hear that you didn't get any interviews yet. It's likely that your resume might be the barrier to getting past the first stage of the hiring process. Focus on improving this. Can you tell me more about your current resume and what you think might be missing?
I don't have enough experience in what I do.
I see. Not having enough experience can be tough. But let me tell you, it's not necessarily about the quantity of experience, but more about how you showcase what you do have on your resume. Have you considered tailoring your resume to highlight your relevant skills and projects? We can work on that together.
No, I haven't.
That's completely okay. We can definitely work on that. Before we dive into that, how's everything else going on in your life outside of interview prep and job search? School, work, personal life. Anything stressing you out?
No.
That's great to hear. So you're managing your time pretty well between school, work, and interview prep. Have you been able to keep up with your learning goals on Head Starter and complete any levels recently?
Yes.
What was your career capital goal for the week, and were you able to achieve it?
All right. So we good, Yasin?
Yeah. We're good. I don't know if you ended the call, but you can actually interrupt it.
Okay, let's get back on track.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, you guys should check it out. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael. I know you're like on a sick day, but Michael just got to the meat of it, which was like, yeah, what do you guys think? Just drop in the chat, guys. What do you guys think? And as you guys tell me what you think, Michael, what did you think? Because you're the voice expert. So what did you think?
That was pretty good. Pretty cool. I saw it's a lot faster. So that's really impressive, honestly. So congratulations, Yasin. And Faizan, yeah.
Thank you, Michael. We have to tell you a secret.
What's good?
People don't know this is running on Llama 3.
Oh wow.
Came out today.
Oh wow. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. We try to move really quick. So yeah, guys, you guys want to drop in the chat? What do you guys think? I just want to see some quick feedback on that. And I'm going to share with you guys a form. So if you guys want first dibs into having this experience, I will give you a form so I can write your names down, and you guys are gonna have we all built it today, like literally today. We saw it come out, and we're like, all right, we got to build this out.